watching Sunbelt basketball from the high country in Boone, North Carolina. It's the Appalachian State Mountaineers playing host to the Georgia Southern Eagles in a Sunbelt clash. And with that, we welcome you inside of the home center. I'm Kendall Lewis alongside my partner John Reister here with you today on ESPN Plus in what should be a very fun-filled matchup. Undefeated Georgia Southern at 3-0 in the Sunbelt this year, 9-5 overall, and Appalachian State at 2-1. Two very good teams, and Georgia Southern trying to stay unbeaten and go 4-0 in the Sunbelt for the first time since the 2016-2017 season. Let's take a look at the Sunbelt Conference standings at this point. Check that. Let's go players to watch first with Ike Smith. He's one of the best guards that the Sunbelt has to offer.
And here's a guy that's 6'4", averaging 16 points a game, 6 rebounds and 2 assists. He's their best player. He's their go-to guy. They run a lot of isolation plays for him. And he's coming off an injury last year where he was redshirted for the entire year, got an extra year of eligibility from the NCAA, and he's going to be a great player to watch today.
And on the other side for Appalachian State is Justin Forrest, Lou Henson National Player of the Week. You go back to last week. He was awesome in the non-conference portion of their schedule and has started off Sunbelt play nice as well.
Yes, he did. He struggled a little bit the other night against Georgia State, and I'm really looking for Justin to have a comeback game tonight. They're really counting on him to put the ball in the basket, and Georgia Southern pressure's all over the floor, so I really think he's going to do the primary ball handling for the App Mountaineers also.
Here we go. Black Saturday here at the Holmes Convocation Center. Mountaineers in their black jerseys with the gold letters, gold numbers, gold trim. Georgia Southern going to be in the gray with the white letters, white numbers. They've got the navy blue trim along the side of the jersey as well. The Mountaineers control the opening tip with Justin Forrest, number 1 in black, controlling the rock. They'll skip this one over. O'Shawn Williams from the corner knocks it down.
Big shot for O'Shawn Williams. He's been one of their better three-point shooters this year, Kendall. And when he makes his first shot, he usually has a pretty good night.
Georgia Southern, the Eagles averaging just over 77 points per contest. And the answer, sweet stroke from David Lee Jones Jr.
He scores from all 3 levels. Here they're coming now with their 1-2-2 pressure, something they're known for. They're going to probably press after every make, especially the way Appalachian had a hard time handling Georgia State's pressure Thursday night. Georgia
Southern, they're a little unique defensively in a sense that they will mix it up, predominantly a man-to-man team that switches. But as you mentioned, John, we'll see that 1-2-2 today, and they've also shown some 1-1-3 this year as well. Mark Byington's crew, extremely athletic.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing that 1-1-3. It used to be called the UNLV Amoeba defense. Coach Tarkanian made it popular back in the days. He was winning national championships. So I'm really looking forward to see these guys playing that. You don't see it often.
Nice job for the Mountaineers to get it in the front court. Hunter Seacat with the follow after the Kendall Lewis miss. And the Mountaineers, a quick 5-3 start. These two teams, old Southern Conference foes, both moved into the Sun Belt in 2014.
Big rivals in football, too. It seems like in football, both of these teams are sitting at the top of the conference.
McCadden kicks it. Open look that time for Quan Jackson, the junior from Tallahassee. And Isaiah Crawley snags the rebound and sticks it back.
He's a real active lefty post. That's where he does his damage around the basket on the offensive glass.
O'Shawn Williams had the opening 3 of the game for the Mountaineers. He'll try it again from distance. And Crawley pulls down the rebound. This Georgia Southern team, they will put it up within 15 seconds of the shot clock. This is the 25th ranked team in terms of pace in the country. They play extremely fast. You see it right there. Off the mark from 3.
And Kendall, they can play fast, and they can play fast for 40 minutes because they got 7 guys averaging over 20 minutes a game.
Nice move that time from Justin Forrest. Here come the Eagles back the other way. Elijah McCadden, sophomore from Rocky Mount, on the floor for the Eagles, number 2. That's a guy that was a Sun Belt Player of the Week earlier this season for Mark Byington's crew. Williams was able to bat it away, right back into the hands of the Eagles. It's deep in the shot clock. Jackson's all alone. He could knock it down. And Kendall Lewis pulls down the rebound.
And that's what the Mountaineers want to do. They want to hang their hat on their defense, #1 in the Southern Conference defensively, and great defensive stance there.
McCadden.
I think he might have gotten away with a walk there, Kendall.
They dump it along the baseline here. Simeon Carter's off balance.
Maybe not the shot they were looking for there. I think Appalachian's defense is having a lot to do with it.
Isaac Johnson's on the floor today for the Mountaineers. Did not play in App State's Thursday night loss to Georgia State. Another team in the Sun Belt that's undefeated. And an offensive foul. Justin Forrest is called for the charge.
Don't know if you noticed that, Kendall, but when Isaac was posting up down low, he caught an elbow on those ribs that he took a spill against North Carolina State and bruised badly. Hopefully he's not going to come out of this game because they really need him.
Let's take a break on ESPN Plus, 15:52, 7-5 lead for the Mountaineers. 7-5 start for the Appalachian State Mountaineers, and there's a look at the Sun Belt picture. Right now, these teams just 3 games in, and you see the 2 Georgia schools in the Sun Belt Conference, both sitting at the top 3-0. Little Rock off to a great start as well. And what a well-balanced conference year in and year out, the Sun Belt. It seems like it's always a logjam at that top of the league.
And I tell you what, I don't think it's going to be any different this year, Kendall. There's a lot of quality teams in the league, and I think it's going to be one of those leagues where they beat each other up all year, and the conference champion has 3 or 4 losses.
Typically a one-bid league, the Sun Belt Conference. Georgia State has won the Sun Belt tournament the last couple of seasons. New coaching staff, Rob Lanier, doing a nice job for the Panthers, off to a 3-0 start. And the turnaround, tough shot from Simeon Carter, his opening bucket of the game.
Simeon Carter, a fairly local kid from Charlotte, North Carolina, West Charlotte High School. Went to Iowa State for, I think, a year, maybe 2, and now he's a little bit closer to home.
Nice back cut, and Lewis was fouled. So Kendall Lewis will have a couple of free throws.
I tell you what, Kendall Lewis has got a bright future for the Mountaineers. Out of is it Snellville, Georgia, where he's from?
Snellville, yep.
And 6'7", athletic, long, and the thing I like about him is he's aggressive. He does not back down, and that's kind of indicative of what you just saw. A lot of kids would come in and try to lay that in. He's trying to rip the rim down.
See the foul there. You get a second look. But this kid has so much upside to his game. At 6'8", he's a very long 6'8", and he can handle it like a guard. Can only imagine the future for him in a couple of seasons. He is going to be one of the top players if he continues to grow in this league.
Well, and he's a great defensive player, too. He came out on Ike Smith, their best player, right on the tap. So, you know, Coach Kearns has got a lot of confidence in him defensively.
Williams bounces it to Justin Forrest. Quick handles, and the step-back J.
That's a big shot for Justin Forrest. He starts making those, he's going to get rolling, and it's going to be a long night for Georgia Southern guarding him.
Jones thought about the 3, uses the shot fake, then had it poked out of his hands. And Williams couldn't run it down. It's out of bounds. And it will stay with Georgia Southern. Let's take a look at the move from Justin Forrest. He is so good at creating his own space.
And I tell you, earlier in the year, he was settling for 3-point shots, and I know Coach Kearns wasn't real happy with that. He's at his best when he's scoring at all 3 levels.
Calvin Wishart with the basketball surveys the floor. He's a shooter from Delano, Minnesota.
Wishart averaged 35 points a game his senior year
And Carter
in high
again,
school.
able to spin left and finish. Couple of buckets for Simeon Carter off the bench. 6 minutes into the first half here at the Holmes Convocation Center. Williams surveys. James Lewis in the game for the Mountaineers now. 2 Lewises on the floor. Kendall Lewis and James Lewis. And trying to thread the needle, a turnover. Georgia Southern has numbers. Jones, the wraparound feed. And they charge Kendall Lewis with the foul.
I don't know if I agree with that foul call right there. There's another official 2 feet away from the play that didn't blow his whistle. I looked like a lot of ball to me. That's the way Georgia Southern wants to play, though. They're going to punish you on your turnovers. Appalachian found that out Thursday night. They turned the ball over 24 times against Georgia State, which ended up in 19 points, which basically was the difference in the ball game.
And 17 of those were steals from Georgia State Thursday night. As you get another look at the contact from Kendall Lewis, could have been all ball, as John mentioned, but Quan Jackson at the free throw line. He's a redshirt junior. He was a third-team All-Sun Belt selection a season ago. He is a very good defender, averages 2.4 steals per contest. That's good for second in the Sun Belt, 25th in the country.
And he was a first-team preseason All-Sun Belt picked by the coaches, so we know he can play.
Yeah, and he's got the assignment on Justin Forrest, which is a tough matchup here today at the Holmes Convocation Center. Williams sizes up Carter. He got a step on the big man, and he was able to lay it home.
Kendall, I really like the officials are letting them play for the most part down in the paint. I think that's going to favor the Mountaineers moving forward. They're a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger around the basket.
Look at the explosive step from O'Shawn Williams.
O'Shawn has really stepped up his game this year. Role player last year. He's been one of the key components for Coach Kearns this year.
A little bit bigger role. He was kind of that sixth man, if you will, the last couple of seasons for the Mountaineers. And Williams, his role magnified this year as Forrest takes it away. He'll dump it off. Donovan Gregory in transition gets the easy deuce.
6'5" freshman out of Charlotte. Big things expected out of him this year. Just coming off of a foot injury.
Intercepted by Kendall Lewis. And the flush. Timeout, Mark Pyenton and Georgia Southern will keep it right here, but the largest lead of the game for Appalachian State. You see it's 6 points off turnovers, John, and there is a sense of urgency for Dustin Kearns' group right now.
This is a huge game for them mentally. They did not play well Thursday night against Georgia State. I think across the board everybody was disappointed in their effort and their execution. So this is a game that they really need to prove to themselves that they can stay in the top half of the conference. And right now they're showing that's where they belong.
You see it turning defense into offense. We talk about the upside to Kendall Lewis getting it done on the defensive end of the floor. And Justin Forrest, the pickpocket, as well, dumping it off to Gregory. App State running the floor. This is a Mountaineers team that will push the tempo when the opportunity presents itself at times. But you and I were kind of talking off air, John, that the improvement of App State, even as this season has gone on, is they typically take quality shots. Nothing's really rushed or forced. Maybe that's been their Achilles heel in years past, but this year they have been more of a patient offensive team. As Williams will let it go from three, and McCadden pulls down the rebounds.
Yeah, they want to be selective when they push. They want to push off turnovers. And it's kind of a catch-22. You mean you want to get out and push, but at the same time you're playing in the Georgia Southern's hands, being one of the fastest playing teams in the nation. You've got to be careful and pick your spots well. David
Lee Jones will inbound underneath the Eagles' hoop. Mentioned these two teams, old Southern Conference foes when they were part of the SoCon, moved to the Sun Belt in 2014. And David Lee Jones Jr. buries the three from the corner.
That was a set play out of the out-of-bounds set there. And I'm a little surprised the Mountaineers didn't pick that up on film.
And there's a foul underneath the basket on James Lewis Jr. of Appalachian State. So this is going to give the basketball back to Georgia Southern. We've got a media timeout first with 11:39. Appalachian State leads by 5 here in the Holmes Convocation Center. Mark Byington, the head coach for Georgia Southern in his 7th season. What a job he's done with the Eagles. Signing a contract extension back in February of 2018. That keeps him in Statesboro through 2022. You can see he was a great player, and he's been around the game for a very, very long time. And Georgia Southern, in his tenure, they have hung around the top of this league year in and year out.
Well, he had great training under Bobby Cremins at College of Charleston, and he had, like you'd mentioned, he was a very good basketball player also, UNC Wilmington, and he was actually the Virginia High School Player of the Year his senior year in high school. So not only a good coach, but a very good player in his own right.
O'Shawn Williams poked it loose. Bibby came away with the steal. And now Justin Forrest drops it off to Hunter Seacat.
Justin Forrest averaging close to 4 or 5 assists a game the last several games, and he's really expanded his value to the Mountaineers with his ball handling.
Bibby again gets on the floor. They call a foul. That's going to go against Georgia Southern. Oh, wait a minute. That's going to go against Appalachian State.
Wow, that's a bad call.
Dustin Kearns can't believe it.
I don't say that very often. That's a bad call. That's a loose ball. He jumped over the top of that kid. You got to reward a player for getting on the floor, not punish him like that. I disagree with that completely.
That is the 16th foul against Appalachian State here in the first half. 19-12 lead by the Mountaineers. App State 8 of 13 shooting so far in the first half. McCadden looking for space. Shot fake for Crawley. Here's the kick. McCadden again, just as the shot clock expires, and it did not hit the rim. So shot clock violation. App State basketball. And you're Dustin Kearns. You got to love that defensive stand there.
They're getting after it. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder today, which is a very good response to how they played the other night. And I'm sure he really was preaching the last 24 hours about what they needed to do to be successful at the top of this conference. And I tell you, they're here to play today.
Justin Forrest, the junior from Decatur, Georgia. Isaac Johnson, as we mentioned, took a nasty spill last Sunday in the Mountaineers' loss to NC State late in that game. Did not play Thursday night in the loss to Georgia State. App State only lost that game 69-60. And Isaac Johnson just makes a world of difference for this Mountaineers team.
He's their leader on and off the floor. He's seen it all, done it all, senior out of Charlotte. And they really missed him Thursday night. It's good to see him back out there today.
Isaac Johnson without a bucket, but Forrest launches from deep.
Had 2 on the shot clock. He had to get it up there.
Jackson couldn't get it to go, and Seacat cleans the glass.
I love the way Hunter rebounds with 2 hands. A lot of young players need to understand that you got to rebound with 2 hands.
How about the Euro step from O'Shawn Williams? Dawkins sets his feet. He'll try a 3. And this one tapped out of bounds. It will go back to the Mountaineers.
Don't know if that's the shot Georgia Southern wanted right there. It's a little early in the shot clock. And Dawkins, not one of the guys I think has a high shooting percentage from 3.
So 9-point lead for Appalachian State right now.
Really surprised, Kendall, they didn't use an opportunity to get in their pressure right there.
A win today would make Georgia Southern 4-0 in league play for just the second time and first time since 2016-2017. Williams missed everything on the three. And out of bounds to the Eagles.
Kind of trading bad shots right there, Kendall. Hopefully they'll settle back down because both teams are playing pretty well offensively.
Crawley working on Seacat, gets it to go off glass.
Nice strong move there. Went with his right hand. He's left-handed. Went with his right. Showed good polish on that move.
Forrest lost the handle momentarily, got it back, and then missed the bunny, and this one stuck in between the rim and the glass. Appalachian State, we go back to Thursday night's loss, 69-60, and they had a couple of shots from close range in that game that really could have turned the tide. That if you go back and watch the tape, I'm sure that Dustin Kearns and that coaching staff know that could have been a different story at the end of that game.
Well, as bad as they played, and they played bad probably 3/4 of the game, the credit you've got to give the Mountaineers Thursday night was they never quit, they never gave up, and they had a chance at the end if they'd have made their layups.
Forrest utilizes the shot fake, could knock down the three. Isaac Johnson snags the rebound, and a wild shot.
I don't think I've ever seen Isaac miss a shot that bad. I'm sure it probably has something to do with his ribs.
Good looking stroke for Vitti.
6'5" freshman, that's what he's known for. He's out there to shoot the basketball.
Redshirted the season last year for Georgia Southern. This Georgia Southern team, they're well balanced. As John told you, they got 7 guys that average 20-plus minutes per game. Media timeout with 7:35, 21-17. Appalachian State on top of Georgia Southern. You're watching Sunbelt basketball on ESPN. Dustin Kearns, first-year head coach for the Appalachian State Mountaineers, and establishing the culture in this program. Appalachian State 8-6 on the year, 2-1 in the Sun Belt Conference, and what a job he did at Presbyterian out of the Big South Conference in the 2 years that he was at the helm there. Guided the Blue Hose to their first 20-win season at the Division I level at Presbyterian.
And he's changed the culture here. And kids are going to want to come up here and play for Coach Kearns. He's all class, he's all business, but he's a fun guy to be around too. So it's a great combination. He's the kind of guy kids are going to want to play for.
And this is a Mountaineers team that holds opponents to 63 points per contest. And it was a little bit lower than that coming into Thursday night's game. Georgia State scored 69, but they've held 8 of their opponents this year to under 65 points. So Dustin Kearns and the Mountaineers priding themselves on the defensive end of the floor this season. Long rebound out to Vitti. Open look this time from David Lee Jones Jr. And he knocks it down. And Georgia Southern on an 8-0 run has trimmed the deficit down to 1 with 7:09 to play in the first half.
Well, I tell you, the easiest time to get a wide open look from 3 is on an offensive rebound, and that's exactly what happened right there. David Lee Jones scored from all 3 levels. Very, very consistent three-point shooter, and that's a pretty easy shot for him when you leave him that open.
Mitch and Appalachian State, a couple of losses in a row, trying to snap that here today. And Georgia Southern 3-0 in the Sun Belt Conference. Mitchell, this would be their second 4-0 start in program history in Sun Belt play, but the first was in 2016-2017. And Georgia Southern the last several years has really hung around the top of this league. Mark Byington does a great job. And O'Shawn Williams travels. John mentioned it, 24 turnovers for Appalachian State on Thursday night. Georgia Southern, a 70-67 victory against Coastal Carolina in Conway. Good move underneath as Simeon Carter has 6 points off the bench for the Eagles here in the first half.
Mountaineers failed to communicate on that block-to-block screen there. That's just a wide open look. Should have been defended better.
Forrest trying to get into the paint. Rises for two. Missed everything. Here comes Jones. He'll kick. Calvin Wishart, extra pass. Vitti for three. And the loose board tracked down by Donovan Gregory. Williams, he'll rise and connects from deep.
That's a big shot right there. Mountaineers had gone 3 or 4 possessions without scoring. Hopefully that'll get them back on track.
Calvin Wishart with the basketball now. He can shoot it. Good pass that time inside to Carter. Simeon Carter making his presence known here in the first half, and we are tied at 24. Kendall Lewis surveys the floor for the Mountaineers. Forrest off a screen, and they call a foul. That's going to go against Simeon Carter, and it looked as if he may have gotten the worst of that one.
Good heady play there by Justin Forrest. He has a knack of getting players off their feet with the ball fake. Took advantage of them up in the air to get a foul.
Carter took the worst of the contact, but was called for the foul. And again, yeah, you're right, John. Justin Forrest really utilizes that shot fake to his advantage. A little perspiration timeout on the floor as they wipe it up here.
Good job by the officials to see that. Got to keep everything safe for these players. They're so athletic and quick these days. One little wet spot on the floor, somebody could get hurt.
So Mountaineers basketball with 5:21 left to play in the first half. 10 points for O'Shawn Williams here in the first half. A couple of made threes. James Lewis lost control, then throws it away. Here come the Eagles. They want to push. Running the floor and finishing for two is Quan Jackson. Quan Jackson, a guy that scored in double figures in 46 career games for Georgia Southern.
He's quick, Kendall. He's so quick with and without the basketball. He's just a matchup nightmare.
Just a junior. He's got another year of eligibility as well. Takes it away here. Wishart running the floor, and in transition, that's back-to-back buckets for Georgia Southern.
Appalachian's getting a little careless with the basketball, similar to Thursday night. They've got to calm down and take care of it and get quality shots out of their offense.
Kendall Lewis, the entry feed, stolen away again. Back-to-back steals from Quan Jackson. And Lewis gets it right back. Running the floor and finishing with the right hand. Count it, plus the foul.
As a coach, that's one of those, Kendall, where you're no, you're 1 on 3, but he finishes and there's like good shot. I really love Kendall Lewis. Great hands on the defensive end. Here he comes. Makes the decision to go to the rim. Had 2 smaller players on him, so it's really not that bad a decision.
Chance to complete a 3-point play for the freshman from Snellville, Georgia. Played with the Atlanta Express on the AAU circuit. Quality club and travel basketball. They produced a lot of Division I talents over the years. And waved the shot off. There was a travel and a turnover. Right back to the Mountaineers.
Once again, Kendall, I'm surprised that Georgia Southern hasn't decided to get in their 1-2-2 press, given that the opportunity was baseline out of bounds on the far end. Would have been a good time to do it.
What are you looking for the Mountaineers on this possession right here, John?
They just need to get a good shot. It doesn't matter who takes it. They just need to get a quality shot. And there's another turnover. getting in a hurry.
And they call another travel on Kendall Lewis. So it's Georgia Southern basketball with 3:48. We'll take a timeout as well. Sunbelt basketball will continue on the other side of the break.
Thought it was, but it wasn't.
28-27 to score. Georgia Southern on top of Appalachian State here in the first half as we come back to you on ESPN Plus. And these two teams back and forth. Appalachian State's led by 9 at 2 different points in the first half. Georgia Southern utilized an 8-0 run to trim it to 21-20, and then they were able to retake the lead about a minute after that. But Wishart will let it fly from 3, and Isaac Johnson pulls down the rebound.
Good defensive possession by the Mountaineers there. Stayed in front of their man, kept it out of the post.
Inside the Hunter Seacat. Couldn't get it to go with the right hand. And Georgia Southern with a rebound. Here's the skip. Wishart open again. Cash money from 3.
And he wasn't going to continue to miss. Good shooter. 39% from the three-point line. He made his first 4 threes against Coastal Carolina Thursday night, so he can stroke it.
He's a Minnesota kid. He was a Minnesota Mr. Basketball finalist back in high school. John, you mentioned it. He averaged close to 35 points a game in high school. What a polished player. Jackson gets a step on Forrest. Had it batted out of his hands. And out of bounds, they say last touch by Jackson, so it'll be Mountaineers basketball.
Good job by Hunter Seacat to hold his ground, keep his verticality. Blocked it standing still, and it fell on him when he was standing out of bounds. Good defensive play by Hunter Seacat.
Good crowd here in the Holmes Convocation Center today. Again, the students still on the holiday break. We want to wish everybody a happy new year. Thank you for tuning in from wherever you may be today. High-level Sunbelt basketball on display here in Boone, North Carolina. Michael Bibby will check in for the Mountaineers. Justin Forrest will get a breather for Appalachian State. You see Kendall Lewis. He's had a big first half for the Mountaineers.
I think that's a good move by Dustin Kearns to take Justin Forrest out. He's pressing a little bit. Give him a chance to rest, refocus a little bit.
And O'Shawn Williams calls for the travel. Tell you what, both teams we have seen, that's about the 6th traveling violation here in the first half. They've called it tightly here today.
I don't think I've seen 6 travels all season, Kendall. We've got 6. We're still in the first half.
And that's kind of been a point of emphasis this season is the shuffling of the feet. Big rebound for Kendall Lewis. Trying to cut back door. That one was broken up. And then a jump ball. And Kendall Lewis, along with Elijah McCadden, nobody wants to give that one up as they had the arms locked on the floor.
I think somebody might have just picked up a technical foul and all that.
And yeah, there's going to be a technical foul called against Appalachian State as officials go over to the table. John Dillon, Brad Corrier, and Art Vault are our 3 officials today. Ike Smith is going to shoot the technical free throws for Georgia Southern.
And I believe the technical foul was on Kendall Lewis. He must have said something when they were separating on the jump ball. He was one of the players involved in the jump ball situation.
Yeah, the technical foul was on Kendall Lewis. And Ike Smith misses the first. Ike Smith, 8th on the Georgia Southern Division I scoring list. without a bucket today from the field as he gets his first point of the half. So 32-27. And now they'll go back on this end because the possession arrow favored the Mountaineers after the jump ball.
We got Donovan Gregory and another freshman in for freshman Kendall Lewis. Kendall has to come out and think about that. That's a freshman mistake. Got a little too into it with the jump ball situation. He'll learn from that. He's young. He's going to be a great ball player.
And an offensive foul away from the basketball. That's going to go against Hunter Seacat.
I think the officials are trying to call a little bit tighter now to calm things down. Things got a little physical there for a while, Kendall. Maybe they're just trying to reel it in a little bit.
You made a great point, John, and we talk about it. These two teams, old Southern Conference foes. This is the 51st all-time meeting between the two schools. Georgia Southern's won the last two. And a whistle again and a foul. This is going to go against Donovan Gregory of Appalachian State.
I didn't see that, Kendall, to be honest with you. Donovan was standing there. It looked like the kid ran into him.
And this series tightly contested when you talk to, as we get another look.
Yeah, that looks pretty inadvertent to me. Both players moving in the same direction.
Big rebound, and Ike Smith cleans it up.
And Isaac Johnson doesn't seem to be himself. You're never gonna see him give up an offensive rebound due to not boxing out on a free throw. I think those ribs are bothering him.
He took a shot to the rib cage earlier in this game, right before the first media timeout, kind of grimacing in pain. Williams empty from three. Largest lead of the game for Georgia Southern, and Ike Smith hoist, and Michael Bibby is called for the foul. That's team foul number 10 on the Mountaineers here in the first half.
We're going to get 3 free throws here. Understandably, Dustin Kearns is upset with that foul situation. I don't see any contact at all there, Kendall. Coach Kearns has got every right to be upset on that
one. Smith makes the second as well, so 3 free throws for Ike Smith, one of the best players in the Sun Belt Conference.
You see anything there, Kendall? There may have been contact, but if it was,
maybe underneath the elbow, possibly. But
I don't know if that was enough to affect the shot. Call foul.
And Ike Smith makes all 3.
Mountaineers need to get a bucket here going into the half. They've been quiet for quite some time here.
2 good ball clubs in this one, though, today. No doubt about it. And Justin Forrest draws the contact on the other end.
Got a little sarcastic cheer from the crowd, and understandably so. The foul situation's about 13-5 in favor of Georgia Southern. You would hope as a home team you might get a little bit of home cooking, but it's kind of been the opposite, Kendall.
So Justin Forrest at the free throw line. He's led the team in steals his first couple of seasons for the Mountaineers.
His assists are way up this year too, Kendall.
Yeah,
getting close to 5 a game, whereas last year I think he was below 2.
Very good facilitator. Cut down 15 pounds in the offseason. His body is in tremendous shape this year.
Big stop here for the Mountaineers.
Ike Smith surveying the floor. Rises and kisses it off glass.
Wow, that's a big-time move there. Big-time move, taking it in on a 6'9" shot blocker. Hunter Seacat being able to finish. That's just a strong basketball move.
1 second differential between game and shot clock. Game clock's at 11, shot clock is at 12. Forrest trying to size up McCadden. Nearly lost control. Hoisted up, and Georgia Southern comes down with the rebounds and a 39-29 lead at halftime. Back and forth, up and down, seesaw first half. The Mountaineers have led by as many as 9, and Georgia Southern with their largest lead going into the break at 10. We'll recap the first half stats and numbers for you. At halftime, you're watching Sunbelt basketball on ESPN. Back to start the second half here inside of the Holmes Convocation Center from Boone, North Carolina. Georgia Southern will have the basketball and a 10-point lead. The Eagles finished strong in the first half. Ike Smith, 8 points, really got going, as John mentioned it, late in the first half. He went over 10 minutes without picking up his first made basket. And losing it out of bounds is Elijah McCadden. And so an early turnover to start the second half.
Surprised Elijah didn't take that three-point shot. He's shooting 57% from that left wing. That's his spot, and he kind of had Isaac Johnson on his heels a little bit.
Forrest, the blow-by, and the finish.
And that's what they need from Justin. Don't settle for threes. Take it to the basket. Get to that third level. He's very good at finishing around the rim.
Stripped away, Seacat comes away with it. Here's the toss back to Williams, and instead the Mountaineers will hit the reset button. No Adrian Delph in the lineup for the Mountaineers tonight, and Seacat hits the turnaround.
I like what the Mountaineers are doing. They're getting the ball inside. They're attacking the Georgia Southern defense inside out. That's a good sign for the Mountaineers.
They feed Crawley, working on Seacat, and he draws the foul.
I like the way Hunter Seacat was moving his feet. He just lost his verticality there at the end, got over the top, and that's where the foul came.
So Isaiah Crawley will be at the free throw line for Georgia Southern, senior from Ripley, Tennessee. This is a guy that missed 4 games already this season with an injury.
66% free throw shooter. He's got a really nice looking stroke. I'm surprised he doesn't shoot a little higher percentage.
Yeah, he shot over 56% from the floor last year for the Eagles. That was the 11th highest field goal percentage in a season by the program.
I'd be shocked here, Kendall, if they don't come with their pressure, make or miss.
1 for 2 at the line was Crawley. Isaac Johnson, he can shoot it from the outside. Did not play, as I mentioned, Thursday night in App State's loss to Georgia State.
He just doesn't look comfortable out there, Kendall. I think he's favoring those ribs. Like you said, he took a shot in the ribs in the first couple minutes of the game, and I don't think he's been himself.
Here comes David Lee Jones, a couple of 3 balls in the first half for the Eagles, and Crawley uses the shot fake and draws the contact again.
Good block up top by Hunter Seacat. I think Justin Forrest may have reached in from underneath.
Well, you see it right there. Crawley able to get Forrest in the air.
Good show of sportsmanship by Justin Forrest going over there and asking him if he's okay. I think he might have poked him on the way up on his shot.
Crawley with 5 double-doubles in his career as well.
I really like his form on his free throw. I'm very surprised he doesn't shoot a higher percentage. He shoots it like he tried to teach it. Then again, he's left-handed. You don't see many ugly left-handed shots.
The southpaw, Isaiah Crawley for Georgia Southern. A couple of trips to the free throw line early in the second half. Whistle and a contact underneath the basket. That's going to be against Crawley. He's the culprit. And that's team foul number 1 on the Eagles here in the second half.
Mountaineers have cut it up underneath 10. This is a big possession.
And Isaac Johnson knocks down the three.
And that's what the Mountaineers have been missing the last game or so, is somebody, one of their bigs, to step out and make that shot.
Crawley trying to back his way in, skips it across. Jones kicks it out. Here's Ike Smith. He can fill it up. Tries to step back. Tough shot.
That's what they do at the end of the shot clock. They try to get him the ball there at the top of the key, Kendall.
Forrest attacks and lays it in. A chance to complete a three-point play the old-fashioned way for Justin Forrest.
We got a 4-point ball game here, Kendall. He makes his shot. We're down to 3. Coach Dustin Kearns has got to be happy with his team's execution coming out of the half. They've done things the way they need to do to be successful in this game. Take care of the basketball, be patient on offense, and play good defense.
Played at Green Forest Christian Academy. Father James played at Georgia Tech, was a great player. He played for his father on the AAU circuit as well. Team Forest, 3-point ball game here in Boone. 6-0 run over the last minute for the Mountaineers. Empty on the three was McCadden. Here come the Mountaineers.
Got to be careful here. Georgia Southern got back. Let's not rush.
Williams dumps it. Kendall Lewis trying the reversal. He was fouled.
Nice back cut by Kendall behind the defense. That's hard to defend when you get a guy running the baseline behind you. Got to communicate on defense, and Georgia Southern didn't do a good job of that in that possession.
The foul was on Simeon Carter. That's his third. Team foul number 3 against Georgia Southern also here in the second half as Kendall Lewis knocks down the first. Kendall Lewis for the Mountaineers, just 53% free throw shooter coming in. Talk about all the upside to his game.
And he's another guy that's got a great looking stroke at the line. It's just going to take some repetition and getting used to playing at this level and the big arenas and those types of things. He's going to be a good free throw shooter moving forward.
Yeah, the free throw percentage for Kendall Lewis will certainly improve as time goes on, as McCadden lets it go and buries it. Silences the crowd here in Boone momentarily.
That's a big shot right there for Georgia Southern to break the Appalachian State mini run they had going.
And Kendall Lewis gets inside and draws another foul.
Things have kind of turned a little bit on the foul calls here, Kendall. It was all Appalachian State in the first half, and now Georgia State picked up their 4th one against 2 for the Mountaineers moving forward here.
Johnson's open again. He's got 6 points, 2 made threes in the second half.
Looks like his ribs aren't bothering him anymore, Kendall.
You make a couple of threes and all of a sudden
everything starts feeling a lot better.
Elijah McCadden kicks. Ike Smith spins. And he draws the foul.
I think they may have called a jump ball. Oh, one official had jump ball, and the trail guy had the foul.
Had the foul. It will be a foul on Kendall Lewis. That's his 3rd, and that will take us to a media timeout. 15:58. We've got a good one here in Sunbelt play today. It's a 1-point game here in the Holmes Convocation Center from Boone, North Carolina. Georgia Southern on top of Appalachian State by 1. Been an up-and-down game and a chippy game at that. Emotions running high between these two teams. Ike Smith is at the free throw line, the redshirt senior from Gainesville, Florida. He ranks 18th on the NCAA active career scoring list right now. This is a guy that has over 1,500 career points. Only 8 points in the first half for the Eagles. Rattles in the first.
Here's the replay of that foul call. Maybe we'll see it, maybe we won't. Yeah, that looks like all ball to me.
Tough. I mean, again, we mentioned it. This one called a little tighter, especially late in the first half until this point on, with the game kind of being a little chippy in the first half.
Things got a little loose, and as an official, you got to pull it back in a little bit. But then you got to be consistent, and that's the biggest question mark I've had tonight is where's the consistency? It just seems like they're going to call it tight once, and they're going to loosen it up a little bit. That's all you can ask as a coach is consistency, so your guys know how to play.
And no doubt about it, the officials have the toughest job in the arena with having to make that split-second decision.
It's not an easy job by any means, but at the same time, you know, they're professionals. They've got to be held accountable. And
Forrest knocks it down from deep.
Deep three there. That was well beyond the NBA line, Kendall.
Active hands from Gregory, and he's called for the foul. Well, that's going to be Donovan Gregory's third, and team foul number 4 against the Mountaineers here in the second half. Calvin Wishart is in the game now as McCadden catches and shoots. Long rebounds. Stick back from Dawkins. How big was that one?
That was a great offensive rebound. Good move. Wow, he was elbow above the rim on that shot, Kendall. That was impressive.
49-47. Justin Forrest surveys the floor. He'll rise for 2. Missed it off the heel of the rim, but Appalachian State, another offensive board. O'Shawn Williams attacks. And he was able to draw more contact. 16 foul against Georgia Southern. And that one's going to go against Calvin Wishart. It's number 2.
And I really like it when the Mountaineers are attacking the basket. They're so much better than when they just settle for threes. They get the opposing team in bad positions defensively, get foul calls.
Kendall Lewis and Hunter Seacat check back in. Got to like the rotations that Dustin Kearns mixes in and out with Kendall Lewis and Hunter Seacat. Then you can go back the other way with Isaac Johnson, James Lewis, or vice versa. We've seen him mix and match with his forwards today. Good combinations underneath for the Mountaineers.
And the thing I like about it, Kendall, I agree with you 100%, is he's not just taking guys in and out. Most of the time, these guys are getting to play 3 or 4 minutes at a time. He never pulls anybody out when they make a mistake. He lets them play through it. And as a player, that's all you can ask for.
This one deflected over the backboards. And they're going to reverse the call. Originally they had said Georgia Southern basketball.
And that's a good thing they did that, because I think Dustin Kearns might have just exploded over there on the sideline. We'd have had a mess.
Forrest missed everything on the 3. Here come the Eagles. Jones, he'll back it away.
Mountaineers did a great job of closing out on the three-point shooter there.
Wishart can shoot it, sets his feet. It's off the mark. Dawkins trying to put it back in, and Seacat cleans the glass. O'Shawn Williams kicks. Forrest lets it fly again. And out of bounds, this is going to go to the Eagles. Under 14 to play. Substitutions for Georgia Southern. David Vidi's back in the game along with Quan Jackson.
And if you're Dustin Kearns, Kendall, this is the kind of game they like to be in. They've got Georgia Southern playing their pace. The game's going to stay in the 60s and the 70s rather than the 80s and the 90s where Georgia Southern wants to be.
Jackson skies, and he was fouled. And that one's going to go against Hunter Seacat. And that's number 5 against the Mountaineers, as Jackson will head to the free throw line for a pair. Mentioned he was a third-team All-Sun Belt selection last year. Came into this one only 155 points shy of 1,000.
And I tell you, when he gets going downhill, Kendall, he's tough to deal with. He's a problem. That's why you've got to get out there, square up with him, and not let him get ahead of steam.
He's got another year of eligibility left as well. Pivotal part on this Georgia Southern team, and a pivotal part to their 3-0 start in Sun Belt play as well. Forrest slices into the paints and was bumped as he let the floater go. And it's on Trey Dawkins. So Justin Forrest going to be back at the charity stripe again. I think one thing worth noting about Justin Forrest's game is that he has gone to the free throw line more than anyone else, almost double more than anyone else on this Appalachian State team. He manufactures a lot of points at the charity stripe.
He does. He attacks the defense. And, last year I think he settled a lot for three-point shots when he should have been attacking. He's a strong kid. He's good with the ball. And when you attack the defense, you get to the line and you get easy buckets at the free throw line. Tell you, Kendall, this next 2 or 3 minutes I think is going to have a lot to do with how this game pans out. Both teams trying to figure each other out defensively. I think there's the next team that can get a spurt going offensively is going to have an advantage.
VD catches and fires, and Kendall Lewis snags another rebound. 3-point Georgia Southern lead. Into the paint, Williams able to finish off glass.
Mountaineers got it cut to 1. Big defensive possession here for them.
Jackson this time. Off the mark on the 3. And Forrest fouled from behind. And that's going to go against Isaiah Crawley, which is his second. Team foul number 8 against the Eagles of Georgia Southern.
And I tell you what, Kendall, that's not a bad foul right there. Mountaineers had a 3-on-1 break out in front of him, so reaching out and getting that foul before he gets past half court is actually a pretty heady play.
Another trip for Justin Forrest to the charity stripe, his 4th trip of the afternoon. Told you he's taken 95 free throw attempts on the season. The next closest guy is 56. That's Isaac Johnson. You look at Justin Forrest, the production that he gets at the charity stripe as he makes them both.
Yeah, he's getting a well-deserved break right here. I can't anticipate Coach Kern's keeping him over there with him for long. I think he's just getting a quick drink of water and a breather, and he's going to be back in there.
Mountaineers back on top by 1. VD catches and lets it go again. And Kendall Lewis may have gotten a piece of that one.
I think he did.
Here come the Mountaineers in transition. Lewis elevates. Seacat to follow.
Now they're playing Appalachian State basketball. Great defense, attacking the basket, getting easy shots.
This crowd coming alive here in the Holmes Convocation Center. Got a media timeout coming up at the next dead ball. And how about the dagger from Simeon Carter to knot it up at 54.
Wow, I didn't see that one coming, Kendall.
Kendall Lewis sizes up Wishart. Floats it underneath, and Wishart battling to deflect the entry pass away from Seacat and come up with it. Jackson sets his feet. Could knock it down for 3. Michael Bibby's back in the game for the Mountaineers. What are you looking for here from App State, John?
I'm looking for a good shot. Their creator, Justin Forrest, is on the bench right now getting a breather, so they just got to be patient, run their offense, let their offense get them a shot.
Good spin from Seacat. And there's a foul against the Mountaineers. Media timeout with 10:50 left to play, and we are tied at 54. Georgia Southern trying to stay unbeaten in Sun Belt play.
Well,
snow on the ground in Boone, North Carolina outside, but it's heating up inside the Holmes Convocation Center. We are tied at 54 all, and these two teams starting to find their strokes a little bit.
And Appalachian's taking care of the basketball, Kendall. They had 11 turnovers at the half. They're just sitting at 12 right now, and that's why they're back in this ball game. Down 10 at halftime, they're actually getting shots instead of giving the Georgia Southern team extra opportunities with the turnovers. So if they continue to do that, I anticipate to have a pretty close game the rest of the way.
Georgia Southern shooting 43% from the field. App State 44%. These two teams almost dead even in the rebounding department as well, with the Mountaineers having the slight advantage. Kendall Lewis, baseline J, short. And Ike Smith with the rebound for Georgia Southern.
That's a good shot, came within the offense, 8-foot jump shot. Coach Kearns would live with that.
Jackson, the lob, and the throwdown from Isaiah Crawley. How about the day that Isaiah Crawley's having for Georgia Southern?
He came to play. His home's 2 hours from here down in Charlotte, and like I said before, he's probably got a lot of people up here to watch him play. He's putting on a show.
Here comes Ike Smith. Traveled, streaking through the lane. Turns it right back over to the Mountaineers.
Kendall, I think that's a little frustration on Ike Smith's part there. Having a hard time getting to the basket. Appalachian's doing a great job playing defense on him. He's had 6'8" Kendall Lewis on him the whole game, so he's having a hard time finding a shot.
Johnson, interior pass to Kendall Lewis, and he's called for the travel.
Probably should have just let that one go for three. Had a great look, came within the flow of the offense. Make up for it on defense. That's all you can do in that situation. Move on and make up for it.
Calvin Wishart mentioned he played his high school basketball in Minnesota, was a Minnesota Mr. Basketball finalist. Gave up the open look from three, which is rare, and Ike Smith gets called for the travel.
That's about the 8th or 9th travel we've had tonight, Kendall. I can't remember a game we've had this many traveling calls.
I mentioned that's kind of been a point of emphasis. We've seen that called a lot this year in college basketball games.
Georgia Southern going with a little zone here.
Lazy pass from Williams, taken away by Jackson. And then Williams, the smallest man on the floor, rejects Quan Jackson at the rim. Here comes O'Shawn. Hangs. He couldn't get it to go, but Justin Forrest is able to track down the loose board. Isaac Johnson lets it go, and he missed everything. Jackson running the floor, dunks it home.
Thought Isaac Johnson was going to try to get that from behind. I bet if he was healthy, he might have got that.
4-point game now, 58-54. The Eagles of Georgia Southern had a 10-point halftime lead at 39-29. James Lewis spinning in traffic and loses control. It's out of bounds. A turnover right back to the Eagles. That's the 15th turnover of the day for Appalachian State, but a 4-point game. Anybody's ball game. 8 minutes to go in this one. You're watching Sun Belt basketball on ESPN+. Well, you get a look at David Kitchen, the strength and conditioning coach for the Georgia Southern Eagles, and you see it, the padlock chain on the neck. Wears it at every game. He's got some locks underneath that padlock. When Georgia Southern gets 3 stops in a row, he takes them off and gives them to the player. And John, that is so similar to like the turnover chain you see in college football now.
That's exactly the purpose of it, and the focus is defense. And your strength and conditioning guys brings the mental toughness to your team. So what a better way than to reward great, tough defense than with a defense chain. Awesome idea.
Backing his way in is Simeon Carter. He couldn't get it to go. And you go back to David Kitchen, the strength and conditioning coach. You mentioned it at Coastal Carolina on Thursday night as Forrest buries the triple. He's got different colors. He had a long silver one on, huh?
He had a silver one on that I can't believe he's actually wearing around. It must have been plastic because it would have been metal. He'd have been crawling on all fours across the floor.
Ike Smith with the answer. Back and forth we go here in the Holmes Convocation Center.
I look for Georgia Southern to get the ball in his hands quite a bit here in the last 7 minutes. He's the guy that can carry them all the way through the end of the game with his offense. They're back in that matchup zone right now, giving that Mountaineers a different look.
Kendall Lewis elevates. Missed it long on the J.
It's a good-looking shot. Came within the flow of the offense, just didn't go.
So Ike Smith, he pulled that one from NBA range, beyond NBA range. He has the neon green light for Mark Byington.
Here you're looking at the 1-1-3 amoeba-type defense. Jerry Tarkanian at UNLV made famous back in his heyday. That's the weakness in that defense is the baseline. If you can get it past those first 3 guys with the length and the athleticism that Georgia Southern has out front, that's difficult to do.
So Kendall Lewis going to be back at the free throw line for Appalachian State. Played at Shiloh High School, which is located in Gwinnett County. Mentioned he's from that Atlanta, Georgia area. Really hit the ground running for the Mountaineers this year.
I think free throws are going to play a big factor in who wins this ball game going into this last 6 minutes. Both teams are going to be here in the bonus on the next foul on Appalachian. So whoever makes their free throws, I think is going to have a huge say in who wins this game.
Ike Smith holds out top. Tries the floater. It missed short. Tapped back in bounds. Forrest saves it. O'Shawn Williams comes up with it. And out of control, he's called for the charge.
Senior play by David Lee Jones there taking the charge. Mountaineers had an advantage on the break, 3-on-2, and that's what you try to do defensively is make that man with the ball overcommit and take that charge. Excellent, excellent defense by David Lee Jones.
Carter faces up on Seacat. Now will back him down. And gets the turnaround to go. Simeon Carter continues to have a field day inside for Georgia Southern.
He's having a career night. And I tell you what, Georgia Southern, they need to keep going back inside to him because I don't know if the Mountaineers have an answer for that.
And Williams buries the corner pocket 3. Much needed for the Mountaineers.
What a soft shot from the corner.
Their 7th triple of the contest today. And a 63-62 ball game with 5:13 left to play. So the Mountaineers and Georgia Southern battling it out here in Boone. We'll be back with more Sunbelt basketball right after these messages. One of 6 Sunbelt games in action today, and there's a look at Georgia Southern's upcoming schedule. This is a team that has started their Sunbelt Conference slate out having to win on the road in tough environments, and they travel to Little Rock, who's also 3-0 in Sun Belt play. On Monday, Mountaineers, this marks the second of a 3-game homestand. They're back here inside of the Holmes Convocation Center Monday against Louisiana. And bucket plus the foul from Quan Jackson.
That's a tough call there on Kendall Lewis. Closed out well, got high, affected the shot, just brought his hand down at the end to touch Jackson on the hand for the three-point play.
I know this sometimes goes unnoticed and maybe is not talked about enough, John, but how valuable is not only having a shot fake in your arsenal, but being able to sell that shot fake as we saw Jackson do right there?
Well, I tell you, it's invaluable now with today's game of basketball because everybody's shooting a three-point shot. And the emphasis is get out there and cover them. So if you have a nice ball fake on your three-point shot, you can get to the mid-range game. And the mid-range game is something that has kind of gone away. Everybody either wants to dunk or shoot threes. So having that ball fake really opens up the middle of the floor for you. And if you can make that mid-range shot, you could be a heck of a scorer.
That's a great point. And we've seen a lot of guys fly and leave their feet today from behind the arc. Justin Forrest has done it several times in this second half and gotten his man in the air. The value of the shot fake. And Jackson did it to perfection there when he was able to knock down the mid-range J and draw the contact. Now Isaac Johnson is at the charity stripe for Appalachian State.
And they'll be in the double bonus the rest of the way. So once again, it's going to come down to the Mountaineers making free throws. They've struggled this year late in games from the free throw line. I'm sure Coach Kearns would love to see that trend change today.
Isaac Johnson right at 9 rebounds per game. He's the top rebounder in the Sun Belt Conference today. He's got 6 with just under 5 to play.
Mountaineers have kept it down, cut it down to 1 multiple times here in the last 2 or 3 minutes, Kendall. They just can't seem to get over the hump. A big defensive stop here would go a long way to make that happen.
Ike Smith.
Huge possession here. Take care of the ball, get a good shot.
Smith just 1 of 4. The pickpocket from Jackson. And the layup plus the foul.
Should have probably just let him go on that rather than take a chance on the three-point play. Frustration foul. Boy, what a steal on the other end by Jackson, though. Just picking Justin Forrest's pocket.
Here's Quan Jackson.
And he's leading Georgia Southern in steals, averaging 3 a game, so it shouldn't come as any surprise.
And number 2 in the Sun Belt Conference in that category, almost 2.5 steals per game, 25th in the country. Very good, long, rangy defender, 6'4".
Invaluable guy to have out in front of your pressure defense, invaluable.
And he complements this Georgia Southern backcourt extremely well as well when you talk about guys like Ike Smith and David Lee Jones.
Looking for the back lob on that one. Wasn't there. Hunter Seacat did a good job of giving him space.
Carter the face up, in and out. Trying to tip it back in was David Lee Jones, and he was bumped, which will take us to our final media timeout of the afternoon. 3:33 left to play in this one in the Holmes Convocation Center for Boone. It's a 4-point Georgia Southern lead.
Don't wait too long.
Appalachian State back at home on Monday against Louisiana, and then they're going to hit the road at UT Arlington, at Texas State. The Sun Belt Conference is so unique in a sense that probably one of the tougher leagues for teams and member schools in terms of travel in this league. You've got 4 teams on the East Coast and everybody else out west, different time zones. It certainly is a gauntlet on these players and coaches catching flights each and every week in this league.
It takes a big toll on you physically and mentally. And that's what makes it so important for these home games early in the schedule when you're well rested, when you're late and sleeping in your own bed at night, that you got to play well and you got to execute at home, because those road games are no joke. I mean, you've got to be hitting on all cylinders, playing your best basketball to win on the road in the Sun Belt.
David Lee Jones made them both, so it's a 6-point game. Then a turnover. Here comes Jackson. Takes it right at Seacat and draws the foul.
Mountaineers going to have to be careful. This game's starting to creep away from them a little bit. Offensively, that probably wasn't a good decision to try that lob on the back. That's a feast or famine play, and Mountaineers need to get good shots right now. Time's running out on them.
Jackson left it short. Georgia Southern is 14 of 21 from the free throw line today. Appalachian State 15 of 16. Pivotal in the final 3:17 as Jackson goes 1 for 2. But it's a 7-point Georgia Southern lead.
And I tell you, this 1-1-3 zone, this Amoeba defense is really giving Appalachian a hard time. They're having a hard time finding shots here.
And McCadden touched it last. It will stay on this end with the Mountaineers.
I'd like to see Coach Kearns make an adjustment offensively, bring 2 guards up top. I mean, they're matching up with it, and I understand you try to beat it by matching up with it and getting movement. But with the length and athleticism and size of Georgia Southern, it's going to be tough to get good looks.
And O'Shawn Williams, a timely 3.
And that's what they just did. They brought O'Shawn up. They had 2 guards up top against the one-man front, and that's why they got that good look. Now they got to play some defense. They need 2 or 3 stops in a row here.
Anybody's ball game here in Boone, North Carolina.
Georgia Southern in this situation, they'll normally work it down and then they'll get it to Ike Smith to do some isolation out front.
Here he is. Got Kendall Lewis in the air and draws the foul. And that's his 5th, so Kendall Lewis is done for the afternoon.
Once again, you get into the shot fake, Kendall, and got him up off his feet. And once you're off your feet, you're basically just dead for that foul if the guy can get his body into you, which is exactly what Ike Smith did. He's a senior. He's a scorer. He knows how to play this game.
Here's Ike Smith, team's leader. Leaves it shorts. He's a Lou Henson Award watch list player that's given to the nation's top mid-major player at the end of the year. Missed them both. 227.
Imperative that the Mountaineers get a good shot here.
Crowd alive here in the Holmes Convocation Center. This one taken away. Big steal for Jackson. Kicks it back out. Smith had all the time.
And that's a senior move right there.
Yeah, he'll pull it away.
Kendall.
Unselfish play.
Very smart play.
Georgia Southern trying to stay unbeaten in Sun Belt play. Georgia State, they were knocked off today by Coastal Carolina and Conway. Little Rock, the only other undefeated team. And Jackson lets it fly from the corner pocket, in and out. Forrest, shot fake, gets downhill. This one
goodness.
Stuck.
Oh my goodness!
On the
you gotta
rim.
be kidding me. Mountaineers ball though, they got lucky.
Have you ever seen on a floater off glass, one gets stuck in between the glass and the rim?
I've never seen that. I've seen it get stuck up there, but not off the glass.
On the heel of the rim.
Fortunate for the Mountaineers that it's their possession on the alternating possession rule here. And a good timeout by Dustin Kearns. He's got to get a good shot here.
We'll keep it right here with 1:36 remaining and a 4-point Georgia Southern lead. So we just told you, let's get another look at this. I think you could probably do that 1,000 more times and never get the same result.
I don't think if you gave Justin Forrest an entire summer in the gym. I don't think he could do it again ever.
So we just told you the scenarios that are brewing in the Sun Belt Conference today. Coastal Carolina defeats Georgia State. Georgia Southern 3-0 in the Sun Belt. Little Rock won their game today. They're 4-0 in the league. So you have two undefeated teams in Sun Belt play right now. That's Georgia Southern and Little Rock. Those two teams are going to play on Monday night. This is pivotal. Georgia Southern wins this game. That game on Monday is a battle for sole possession of first place.
Yes, it is, and a lot at risk here for the Mountaineers too. Because they come out of this, they're going to be 3-1.
Williams fouled shooting the three.
And that was an awful late whistle. I don't know if Dustin Kearns made that call. The guy was standing right in front of him. That called the foul.
Mark Byington is upset.
Holy smokes, Quan Jackson was at the other end of the floor, and he's the one that blocked the shot before the whistle was blown. Well, this is an opportunity for the Mountaineers. O'Shawn Williams, one of the better free throw shooters for the Mountaineers, so they've got the right guy there. He's just got to knock these three down, and here we've got a one-point game with 1:34 to go.
3 free throws for O'Shawn Williams, and he tickles the twine on the first.
Here we got to look at it here, Kendall. I don't see much there unless he got him with the body. There was nothing up top.
Williams bricks the second. O'Shawn Williams, he was a guy that was a standout football star in high school as well. Played at the Stratford Academy in Macon, Georgia.
That miss is not that bad. If he can knock this one down, we're sitting at a 2-point game. Come down, get a stop. Come down and get a chance to win this ball game.
2 for 3 is O'Shawn Williams, and a 2-point game.
Might be the biggest defensive stop of the year for the Mountaineers.
App State looking to go 3-1 in the Sun Belt, trying to hand Georgia Southern their first conference loss, and the Eagles trying to stay unbeaten. That matchup with Little Rock on Monday night could be for sole possession of first place.
I'd be shocked for Ike Smith not to get the ball here. Here we go.
Here it is, their go-to guy, Ike Smith, the senior from Gainesville. Strong right hand, in and out, just as the shot clock expired. 1 minute remaining, and the Mountaineers an opportunity to tie or take the lead.
Coach Kearns is going to let him play. He's going to have some confidence in his
Williams,
guys.
Too long on the three, and the rebound from Jackson and a foul called.
And that's a pretty good foul. I don't know if he did it intentionally. It does stop the clock. Leaves the Mountaineers 50 seconds to play. The last thing you'd want is for him to come free and then Georgia Southern have an opportunity to burn 20 or 30 seconds off the clock. So I don't mind that foul at all, Kendall.
50 ticks left. Quan Jackson at the free throw line. Claims the first one. Jackson today, 4 of 9 at the charity stripe.
He's normally a 71% free throw shooter, Kendall, so he's got a better than average chance of going in, but once again, we're in the last minute of the game, a lot of pressure, and I think Georgia Southern's coach is going to give him a chance to just take a deep breath and relax in the hopes that he can get this next one in.
71-69, and the door is open for the Appalachian State Mountaineers. This Sun Belt Conference, it is a wild card every year, to say the least. We've seen it plenty of times. There's an absolute logjam at the top of the league right now. You've got 3 one-loss teams, a couple of teams that are unbeaten like Georgia Southern in the Sun Belt Conference. This is a league where it seems like every year these teams just beat up on each other. And top to bottom, the league equally is talented.
Right, and you've got some teams at the bottom of the league right now that were picked to finish in the top 3. So this is all could be shuffled as the year goes on. Like you said, these guys keep beating up on each other.
And Jackson makes the second one coming out of a timeout. So a 3-point Georgia Southern lead.
And it looks like Georgia Southern's going to bring a little pressure. Man pressure, I'm sure. They don't want to give an open look here on the 3. They're up 3. The last thing they need is to give an open 3 to somebody.
Forrest, nice move, and the change of hand. 1-point game.
Find the right guy to foul.
Smith thought about it.
It's going to be about 15 seconds on the clock for the Mountaineers if they can get a stop here, even if they take it all the way down to 0.
12-second differential between game and shot clock. Here's Ike Smith trying to attack. Kicks.
Oh, that was wrong.
And McCadden lets it go. Short. And the Mountaineers, 10 seconds. A chance to win it. Williams. And a timeout called by Dustin Kearns.
What a defensive stop by the Mountaineers when they needed it. Great timeout by Dustin Kearns. He's going to get a shot to win this ball game.
6.7 ticks left. If you don't have popcorn, go ahead and get it right now because what a finish we have here. So, John, the timeout from Dustin Kearns as we see the missed shot from McCadden.
Got away with a walk right there, too.
The missed shot with 6.7 seconds left. Who are you looking for here from Appalachian State? I think the obvious answer is probably Justin Forrest, but there's plenty of other options.
Well, you got to put the ball in Justin Forrest's hands, and then you just got to spread the floor. I'd be surprised if Dustin Kearns has more than one post out there, to be honest with you. Spread the floor. They got plenty of shooters out there. My question is what is Georgia Southern going to do coming out? The 1-1-3 is really giving the Mountaineers problems, and it makes you kind of put you on your heels a little bit. There's only 6 seconds on the clock. But then the risk you run with that is you may give an open look to somebody. So it's, come out, play man, and have confidence in your guys being able to square up and keep somebody in front of them, or go zone, create a little confusion, and see what happens from that. But either way, the Mountaineers score 2 or a 3. They're going to win this ball game.
72-71. Georgia Southern and Appalachian State, these two teams, rivals, old Southern Conference foes. They've been in the Sun Belt since 2014. It doesn't get much better than this. Down to the wire. And now a timeout for Mark Byington.
That's a great timeout.
Yep.
Seeing what the Mountaineers are going to put out there. Neither team's got a lot of film on each other right now in these types of situations. On a positive note, the Mountaineers have got the ball on the side right in front of the bench. There's a lot you can do. I did see that they had Justin Forrest bringing the ball in, so you got to think that they're going to bring it into somebody and then kick it back to him. A lot of times the man bringing the ball in is the most dangerous guy. Everybody will run to the ball and they'll kind of forget about it.
So how does that change things for Appalachian State? Now that Georgia Southern has seen what App State's shown, they call the timeout. Does it change anything?
I don't think you change a thing. I mean, you got to go with what you have confidence in. I will say I've been at enough Appalachian State practices that they work on this all the time. Coach Kearns will put guys out there. He'll pull them over. He'll draw something out, and then he'll have them go out and execute it. So it's something that the Mountaineers have practiced. And so I got a lot of confidence that they're going to get a good shot unless Georgia State throws something out at there that they haven't seen before.
Here we go. 6.7 seconds left. And the crowd on their feet here in the Holmes Convocation Center from Boone, North Carolina. What a classic. One of 6 games.
And the Mountaineers have changed things up a little bit. They're going with a stack look, and it looks like Georgia Southern is going straight man-to-man.
One of 6 games in the Sun Belt today. Williams with 5 seconds. Right back to Forrest. Step back 3 for the win.
Got it! He got it!
He got it!
He got it! There's 4.
Justin Forrest, the junior from Decatur.
There's .4 left on the clock. They're going to go look and see how much time's left. If it stays at .4, then you got a catch-and-shoot situation. I don't think Georgia Southern's going to have enough time, unless they put more time on the clock, to pass it up the half court and get another timeout. What a big-time shot by Justin Forrest.
Able to create his own shot, and the junior from Decatur, Georgia, knocks it down. And we'll see how much time they put back up for Georgia Southern.
They're over there looking at the replay right now. If we can get a look at it, we can maybe see, too, what was on the clock above the rim and see how accurate that is. May or may not see it from this view here. Maybe at the other end. Maybe we can get it from this shot. Yeah, we should see what happens here.
Maybe close to a second,
I'm
possibly.
thinking maybe 0.6. Here we go. When it goes through the net, so we're right at a second, I think, Kendall.
Close to a second.
They're going to put some more. They're going to put some more time up.
Well,
how much is the question?
Catch and shoot situation if you're Georgia Southern. 0.9 seconds is what they officially put back up on the score clock.
And I don't disagree with that. I might have put a little more than that back up, but I think that's reasonable. I don't think 1 second is a whole lot different than 0.9. But they've got to go the length of the court. So Mountaineers have just got to be careful that they don't make a careless foul in this types of situation. A lot of coaches have got plays to run guys off of each other and run guys into each other, and they're over there probably telling the officials right now, hey, this is what we're going to do. You need to look for it. That's really the only hope they got. I find it hard to believe they're going to have somebody who's going to be able to catch and shoot at this position with only 0.9. I've been wrong before, though.
0.9 tenths of a second.
Looks like they're going to put Isaac Johnson on the ball, which is a good move. You want a tall, lanky guy, smart guy that's not going to reach across and get a foul. Technical foul. My guess is they're going to run Quan Jackson to the ball. Here
running the baseline is McCadden. Smith catches, gets it off in time.
And
it's
the
no good.
Got it.
And 74-72 is the final score. Justin Forrest, the junior from Decatur, wins it in dramatic fashion. And the Mountaineers hand Georgia Southern their first Sun Belt loss of the season. App State 3-1 in Sun Belt play.
And we got the first signature win of the Dustin Kearns area here in Appalachian State. What a ball game. What a ball game.
Big win for Dustin Kearns' group, and hats off to Mark Byington and Georgia Southern. They have a tremendous team. Tough loss if you're the Eagles, and they've got another big one on Monday night at Little Rock, as does Appalachian State, welcoming Louisiana on Monday night. And Sun Belt play just getting started in the 2020 campaign.
The Mountaineer players are walking around waving at the crowd, thanking them for their support. Mountaineers crowd got loud there at the end, made it tough on Georgia Southern. What a great way to welcome the students back from Christmas break.
74-72, once again, the final score here in Boone, North Carolina. Appalachian State 9-6 overall, 3-1 in Sun Belt. This has been a presentation of ESPN. To view this game in its entirety, visit ESPN.com. For Kendall Lewis, alongside my partner, John Reister, we say so long from the high country